All righty, everyone. I want to say good evening and welcome to Collaborating Connections. We are a professional networking group that meets weekly on this Zoom call, and glad to have you all with us this evening. Stacey, we can't see you, but and that's okay. But I hope that you can hear us.
I can hear you guys, and I will be joining you in a moment. I'll turn
Okay,
my camera on. I'm not quite prepared just yet. But good
no
evening, everybody.
problem. I'm going to invite everyone to go ahead and put their contact information in the chat room, your name, your business name, phone number, email, website, any relevant information that you would like to share in order that individuals can connect with you, ask questions, and do follow-up. Get mine in there as well. For those who aren't familiar with us, Collaborating Connections is part of the TTR family. That's To the Rescue Networking. Collaborating Connections has been around for over 5 years. TTR Networking has been around for more than 12 years. We started out meeting in person in various satellite groups. And since COVID, especially Collaborating Connections has transitioned to this virtual Zoom meeting format, which I love because it allows us to be able to connect with wonderful professionals from coast to coast and around the world. So, whether you are with us tonight in person or reviewing this recording at a later date, again, good evening and welcome. We're happy to be with you. My name is Dawn Evans Casey. I'm the leader of Collaborating Connections. And on a weekly basis, we get together for wonderful relationship building, sharing referrals, and doing our business introductions and sharing some wonderful professional development information. So this is February 28th. We are wrapping up the month of February, and February happens to be our follow-up theme. So our professional development discussions have generally been focused on methods of follow-up, sources to go to follow up for business, why we follow up at all, why it's so important to what we do, and just ways to enhance our overall process. So at this time, I would like to invite anybody present on the call to share any of their wins or celebrations from the past week, or if anything new and wonderful is coming up in the near future that they want to acknowledge and share with the group. Anybody? CV, you got something?
I was pointing to everybody else, but I don't know where everybody else is on the screen. So I'm, like, are you over there? Are you over there? Are you down there? Where is everybody?
Uh,
So on
well,
my computer, I'm in the upper right-hand side, and Nancy's down, she's
yeah,
down
my
there.
computer,
And
you're on the lower left-hand side, so it's
yeah, you're
different.
over there. So, and
Maybe I know you've got something to celebrate. We were just talking before we went live with the recording about your progress with your business. So why don't you share a little bit about that?
well, every day is a success. And there's always something to learn, There's always something to discover. There's always I don't like the idea of win or lose. I'm very much a win or learn type person. And so if I have an event that goes, as I like to say, sideways, it's an opportunity to learn. And so that's always a good thing there. I've been working on getting all my marketing materials together. So business cards, brochures, postings for out there on Facebook and all the digital land, getting that out there. So it's really been a busy time. I'm getting like Catherine, which Catherine is part of the Tuesday midday group up on the north side. She's my wife. She's a crazy red-haired lady. And she sends me stuff she finds on social media and stuff that's informational, educational, creative, all sorts of things. So it's always learning, always growing. So that's what I've been doing this week.
Super awesome. Keep it going.
Trying.
All righty. Nancy, have you got anything?
The one win I'll say is the end of last week, I had a client that I had signed up on a D-SNP Medicare plan, and she was unhappy with it. And I told her that if she was unhappy, we could take her back to the plan she was on. In the first 3 months of the year, you have that open area where you can go back to where you were. And she thought about it. And then she talked to her doctor on one of her medicines. And then I heard from her Friday. She called me, and I'd sent her to someone that was set up with Blue Cross Blue Shield because I don't have it in my back office to sell her back to her plan. So I sent her to someone, and they talked to her for a little bit. And then Monday morning or Friday morning, she calls me back and she says, talk to my doctor, and if I could stay on the medicine I'm on, I'm going to stay with you. And it was like, that was a really cool feeling, because I had written her off because her daughter had said, oh, she's not getting what she wants out. And then she came back, and then the mother came back and says, I'm going to stick with you. And it's like, that's good, because that's exactly what I want. I don't want to plan enough clients that I don't know who they are. I want to know each one of them and the stories behind them and follow along in their life. And so that she was willing to come back to me after she had looked at the other options was really a pretty nice win to end the week on, I thought.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome. It feels good when you recognize that your client, your customer's needs or their priorities aren't always price or aren't always the actual product or service. In
Right.
addition to the service, it's that customer service. It's that added personal touch that you gave, that you were interested in that customer or client getting what they needed and
Right.
talking them through it and giving them options for them to be able to feel comfortable about it. So that's a wonderful thing. That really is a wonderful thing. Hey, Stacey, how are you? Uh-oh, we're not hearing you. I don't know if your volume is down or.
There we go. Hello,
Yes,
guys. How are you
yes,
tonight?
wonderful.
Good.
Do you have any wins or celebrations that you'd like to share with the group?
Oh, let's see. Um, Gosh, well, I have a senior in high school, so there's been a lot of wins going on. We just celebrated senior night, and she's on the cheer team and dance team, so getting ready for graduation, all those good things, prom first. So, that's always a win, just being able to celebrate her. But as far as work wise, um, had a really good team building exercise yesterday. Well, office culture party we had yesterday with the staff, and we did Abby's garden. So we all planted like little succulent plants. That was
Oh,
really cute. So that was a win. I made some really good connections at a networking event that I attended last week. So that's definitely always a win as well.
awesome. All good stuff. So, as I mentioned, our February theme is follow-up. So I hope that you are taking advantage of that encouragement, and for each and every networking event, making sure that you're touching base with, following up with individuals that you're meeting. I see, let's see, Robert Haley, how are you this evening? Oh, we can't hear you.
I'm doing well. Sorry, thought I
Okay.
hit the button. Yeah, doing well, doing well.
All righty. Do you have any wins or celebrations you want to share with us?
Wins, I've been, like I said, I've been pretty busy. Definitely, business is picking up tremendously, and definitely making a lot of realtor partners and groups that I'm working with more so, and those are coming very, very well. So, and then my workshops are taking off as well. So things are going well in that sense.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
So,
Glad to hear it. Let me see. I just want to add for my win for this week, my day job, my 9 to 5 as an auditor, we have wrapped up the busy season and pretty much got our 2022 financials finalized and closed up, and just ready to jump into 2023 planning and testing and documenting now. So it's always ongoing, but it just feels like a relief when you get one large project done and moved aside. And this definitely allows me a little bit more time and flexibility to focus on some of my other endeavors. So I'm still smiling. I survived it, and just ready to get going in the next new project. Uh, Generally, on a weekly basis, I follow up by inviting our executive director, Jennifer Johnson, to talk about some of the TTR networking events coming up within the next month. And I believe Jennifer will be joining us later on in the call. So I might just sidebar that until then, because I don't believe I have all of the details of the TTR networking calendar. But be sure, if you are interested in following up, to go to therescuein.com is our website, and that is TOTHERESCUEIN.com. And that's the TTR networking overall website, where we have all of the information about all of our groups, all of our events, a little bit about the mission of the organization, and just gives you a really good flavor of what we do. But a quick reminder, the mission of the organization and the RESCUE acronym pretty much sums up what we are all about. The R is for relationships, the E is for education, the S is for success strategies, the C is for community. We are very involved in the community and helping others thrive, as well as ourselves and our businesses. The U is for understanding, and the second E is for execution. So that is what TTR networking is all about, and we get to demonstrate that on a weekly basis through our Zoom calls, our one-on-one contacts, and our general follow-through with networking. So I think we will go ahead and start our roundtable introductions. And I'm going to first ask Nancy Vesley, are you ready to introduce yourself and your business?
Yeah, I'm Nancy Vesley. I am a local licensed health insurance agent with IHC Specialty Benefits. I do health insurance, life insurance, supplemental insurance, critical illness insurance, small business plans. And for small business, you need one W-2 employee and yourself, and you could have your own small business plan. Also ACA, these days, people are getting kicked off of Medicaid. They're cutting back on, from 2020, they let everybody ride it until now. And so they're trying to get some off, release some, and then you can get into the marketplace. And if you've got low income, the marketplace probably has some nice subsidies to offer you to help you get health insurance. Or there's other options on health insurance that we could talk about. So that's what I'm looking for right now.
Very good. Thank you so much, Nancy. Anything else you want to share with us? Any of your other interests and endeavors that you'd like to share with our listening audience?
No, I think those are the big ones right now.
Okay. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Nancy Vesley and IHC Insurance? Okay, very good. We are going to move on. I am going to, let's see, invite CB. Are you ready to introduce yourself and your business?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm CB Bjork. I am Ascension Imaging Studio. I do photography. I'm a licensed FAA licensed drone pilot, so I can work commercially doing aerial photography as well. I specialize in headshots, portrait, product work. So I do a wide range of photography and imaging services, looking for those who basically need imaging. Sit down, find out what you're looking for, how I can help, and kind of go from there, see if I'm your person or not. So my contact information's over in the meeting chat. So ascensionimagingstudio.com. Let me know how I can help. Here to solve your problems in round photography. If you're looking for art on your walls, I can do that. If you're looking for headshots, it's one stop. It's right here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, CB. Do we have any questions for CB this evening? I've got a quick question. Do you go on site to your clients' locations, or do you invite folks into your studio, or do you have the flexibility to do both?
Right now, I do everything on site.
Okay.
So I am working on getting stuff up and rolling. I am in the training wheels stage right now. I know everybody knows those days, remembers those days, and are glad to be past them. But I'm working on getting the business up and going so I can then have studio space so I can do both studio and on-site stuff as well. So, but hopefully in the next few months we will be getting there. So
Woohoo.
thank you, Dawn.
Right. Thank you. Any other questions for CB?
I have a question. I don't know if this is a market or not for you, but when my son was in marching band, they used to have the rehearsals and they had people up in the, they had like a stand for people to watch for them. But I'm wondering if it would be a market for people that would want to see it on video to see what's happening in those. Because those marching bands with the color guard running all over, there's a lot of action in those. And I don't know if they have any drones working them.
It's a good question because obviously my sister way back in the day was one of the color guard people, and she was twirling the flags and the rifles and all the batons and all the other stuff. And yeah, they're all over the field. And I guess that would kind of be a school by school determination onto what they have. I know ours uses a big like a scissor boom lift to go up and to watch it all, and they record it on film, but that gives one forward angle, whereas with the drone you can get up over people. But there are some regulations about flying directly over people as well that you got to be careful with. So
Okay.
so some of that's there. it's not like you can go flying into like Lucas Oil Stadium and stuff with the game and get all that because those pesky people. So, but it would be a way to give multiple views in different directions regarding what's going on, so they can see line formation and everything from many different angles. So
Cool. All righty.
Not only that, being a parent of a student that's in activities at school, I'm on the football field, she performs during halftime. I watch those color guard and band performances, and you're not close, you're in the stands. So that would be amazing to be able to get some footage or even some pictures of your child close up, because that's a lot of hard work they put into that. And not only the students, but the parents, taking them back and forth. So yeah, that would be a good business concept to pitch to schools.
yeah, but with it as well, it could also be individual for a senior photo shoot or something like that, where you're going to a game and you're capturing them doing their live thing, and it doesn't matter if they're
in the moment,
or dance, cheer, whatever, because they're on the field. And with a lot of lenses, you can get up close and personal.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of neat and different ways to do it, but yeah, sometimes the schools just don't have the budget to afford someone to come out and do that, is the other problem.
Well, I'm even thinking though, even if the school didn't want to be a partner in it, that's
parents might.
Maybe something they could allow for the students to be able to, take part of if they wanted to capture it for themselves. The permit or whatever they might have to have just for the drone. Like you said, you can't do it in the Lucas Oil, but there's probably some type of, regulation behind you flying it around that type of property. So
yeah, and
a connection with a school athletic director or something like that might be beneficial.
And it may depend upon the club as well.
What's that?
But it may depend upon the club, whereas the football organizer for the team may not care, but the dance team may very much like the idea of having each of the girls shot, or the cheer team,
right. It would definitely be. Yeah, that's what you're saying. I mean, it'll be worth investigating, I think.
I've done soccer because some of these kids that are in these travel teams, oh my goodness. And the amount of money that the parents put into these travel teams is just crazy.
Yeah.
And get the kids on the field where they're kicking the ball, the goalies are diving and getting that lateral dive over to block the shots and stuff. Yeah, some of that stuff is really popular.
Cool. Well, I'd be happy to share with you any connections that I have with any of the travel teams that I'm familiar with based on my travel services. But yeah, it's something for everybody to think of. If you've got any connections along those lines that would help CB, be sure to do that one-on-one follow-up and share that info. Thanks again, CB. All righty. How about you, Stacey? Are you ready to introduce yourself and your business?
Sure. So everybody, I am Stacey Vernay. I work for Bankable. I'm a community relationship manager there. We are a small business lender, a CDFI, if you're familiar with those type of institutions. So that's what we do. We have 4 different types of loan products. So if you know any small businesses that need some additional capital and would like to apply, you can send them our way. We're kind of like a second chance. So if they don't have really good credit or the financial standing, our application process is not as heavy as traditional funding. So there's some more options there. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yep. And so I also am do financial coaching. I have a business called First Things First, where I teach individuals to become financially stable so I can provide workshops or presentations based around financial literacy.
Awesome. Who is usually your audience in those cases? Are they groups? Are they individual couples or
most times groups? most workshops I've done have been for groups or one-on-one individuals, some couples, but generally most times group from the background work that I used to do.
Okay. Any other questions for Stacey with Bankable?
All
Yep.
right. We're
All
based out of Anderson, but we service any small business in the state of Indiana.
Very good. Very good. So I had the opportunity to have a one-on-one discussion with Stacey last week, and there was really as the more we talked, the more we had things in common that we could talk about. And one of the things that stood out to me based upon the conversation, Stacey shared one of the four products that she had really is to help individuals with the small business kind of regain their footing, their financial footing, even if they haven't, if they have bad credit or have no credit. And for a small business kicking off, that may be an issue. So if you know of anybody, business starting out with bad credit or no credit that just needs a lift or a start, Bankable is an excellent solution as opposed to going to our regular commercial banks that have much more stringent criteria that individuals may or may not qualify for. Thanks again, Stacey.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Stacey? All righty. I am going to invite Robert Hailey. Are you ready to introduce yourself and your business?
Yeah. Okay. Robert Hailey with Old National Bank. I'm a mortgage banker. I work with the low to moderate income folks, trying to help more Black and brown folks become homeowners. I spend I have money to help assist them here. If you're trying to buy a home in Indianapolis, Marion County, I do loans in all of Indiana, but I focus a lot on Marion County, Indianapolis area itself. But to help folks become loan with smart dollars but do have dollars for no matter where you are inside of Indiana itself to help you there. I just really take a holistic approach to a client to help make sure you understand their short and long-term goals, to make sure we're accomplishing those goals. My goal is to help those who first-time home buyers, those who looking to be a homeowner, really take kind of counseling them up. And I do workshops as well to help educate, as well as to educate is the most important part of it, to help them understand how they can become homeowners and what all the steps need to be involved. So that if you are working somewhere and you have a steady job and you've been living, paying rent somewhere, you should be a homeowner. Let me show you how. So I always say to best way to term say invest in yourself. If you invest in yourself, you have something to look for, something to see after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, at least you have something. So my goal is not that you help you just to buy a home, but also help you to maintain and thrive in your home as a homeowner. So again, Robert Hailey, Old National Bank. Been doing over 25 years, so here to help.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Robert.
Welcome.
Do we have any questions this evening for Robert Hailey and Old National Bank? I've got a quick question, Robert, and I know that you are actively doing these homeownership workshops that we'd love to help market those for you as well. I went to the Indianapolis Home Show at the end of January, I think it was, maybe early February, and I know that the home flower and patio show is coming up at the State Fairgrounds sometime soon. With spring on its way, if Mother Nature allows, I didn't see a whole lot of financial institutions represented at the home show this year. So I would guess that individuals generally will need financing for those home improvement projects, installing new fences and patios and beautifying and fixing up after a harsh winter. Are those home improvement line of credits, home improvement loans in your bailiwick of business as well?
Yes, yeah, those are good as well. But when you go to those home shows, the problem you have with the home shows, you don't really get much lift out of that. People take your information, but it's a tip they paying cash for it, or they trying to do trying to do a line of credit. But a line of credit and doing a second mortgage on your home, well, that's a line of credit is a second mortgage if you don't have a mortgage. If you have a mortgage, it's always a line of credit. It's some of those are still tough for folks to get, and guidelines are changing to make those even tougher and a little bit more, and also a little bit more costly. So we try to show people how to know you do a line of credit make sense for you, or do refinancing, taking cash out to go do what you need to do makes better sense for you. So it's not just trying to be transactional, but more so try to educate and really understand what's the goal, long term and short term. Because I always tell you, if you're gonna do a line of credit for the most consumer, the first question you ask yourself: do you have the ability to pay that loan off if you need to? If you do not have the ability to do that, refinancing makes better sense for you, because that line of credit, it is a second mortgage, interest only for the first 10 years, but then most people will pay that interest only payment. And then when it comes to that 12th year, it moves into a full blown loan, and that payment is going to drop up about 8 times where it normally is. And they're not ready for that. And so, or they're understanding that, hey, you may do a line of credit, get the projects done, then refinance it into the mortgage, makes better sense. But most people don't do that. So it's all about education. Education.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Robert. Much
You're welcome.
appreciated.
Yep.
Any other questions for Robert Hailey?
I actually do have some questions, but I should probably ask these questions offline because I have quite a few questions about mortgages. So I'll
Well,
definitely, if you can put your information, you didn't put it in the chat, Mr.
Not yet.
Hailey. So
Not yet. I will do it though. I would definitely. So, feel free to, I do consult or anything. I would say no questions, only bad question when you don't ask me. So
yep. No, I'm a firm believer in that. My
yeah.
grandfather used to tell me that as a child. So I just told someone that like 2 days ago. So yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. So yeah. I just don't want to take up all the
So
time on the call today.
no problem. Well, we love to encourage the one-on-one discussions. So I'll be sure to share that information so that you two can connect. Let's see, next, Jennifer Johnson has joined us. Yay!
Woohoo! Great stuff. Hey, CB, I don't know. Remind me. But it's good to see everybody. There's if Dawn hasn't said anything, there's one thing I got to remember to tell you or extend to you. I just want everybody to know I'm the original Jennifer Johnson. Dawn just happens to turn it on, whatever. Anyway,
You can't be replaced, Jennifer. It's you are definitely the original.
I don't know. Today has been kind of weird. We live in a homeowner, what am I trying to say? A neighborhood that has been managed by what do you call it? A management company, and now they're turning it over to the residents, and it's quite a heated discussion already, and there's I don't even know. And we haven't been in the neighborhood long enough to know, but oh my goodness. So I was just in there, and they were doing a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I escaped, so I'm glad I made it out. It's just good to see everybody. But I am Jennifer Johnson, and you all do know me, but it is really good to see everybody. And I am most recently added to my things. I'm a silver certified promptings coach, which basically I teach people the power of promptings, which is that little intuitive voice that makes you do something positive. Take a positive action. Today there were some ladies saying, well, what about when you're sitting there at night and you eat something you shouldn't be eating? I said, that's not a prompting. That's a devil talking to you or something. But it was kind of like you have to take that moment and say it's a positive action, but it's literally how to recognize them, act on them. And literally, if you do, there are breakthroughs that can happen in your business and everything. So that is, the silver certified promptings coach I'm very excited about. I basically position you to stay top of mind in authentic ways, creating your personal connections and making you truly, I was talking to my son today about this. It blows me away. He's got a new business. He was on this call. He's got so much to learn about, and it's like education. They're working on the education. You've got to be top of mind when somebody is thinking health insurance. You have to be Nancy Vesley. When, you know what I mean? That name has to pop up when somebody is, anyway. So our networking group's a big part of it, obviously. And our groups aren't gigantic, but the quality of the connections, I feel, is what has kept us around for 12 years and continues to make me excited about where we're going, because the people who come are just, great. And like when I said this to Dawn, Stacey, but when I met you, I knew we needed to have you at least visiting our groups, making these connections. So I'm glad you're here today. And everybody that's on this call, I'm very literally so excited to know that you guys are all here. So thank you. And what was I supposed to do, Dawn? Anything else?
You were supposed to introduce yourself and your business. And since we skipped over the TTR networking upcoming events, if you've got those in mind, I'd love for you to share that with the audience as well.
So we actually have our next happy hour is scheduled on Wednesday, March 15th, down at the Chewy's on Southport Road, and it is on Eventbrite. It is on our website. It is on our social media. We did one. Stacey was actually there, and Dawn and Nancy. And the goal is to start getting, putting the energy out into the networking world and that personal thing that we all remember doing really well or in person prior to pandemic. And it really is, there is an energy that is, I literally had forgotten to a degree until we were there that night how neat it is when people are meeting each other and really getting a chance to connect. There's something about it. Those of us who've been networking for a long time, you go to a restaurant, you order food, you're sitting there talking about your kids. Oh, I don't like these quesadillas, they suck, or they're the greatest things ever, that kind of stuff. There's something about that personal thing. And we know that the Zoom works, but we are doing the once a month in-person happy hour. We did it at Brewburger 2 weeks ago. We're going to do it on March 15th down at the Chewy's. We had a couple people request that, and it worked out that they had the space. And then we'll go back north. I gotta be listening to my members and our members. We have two groups down south. And yes, and sorry, Philip was asking me a question, but yes, we want to. Our South people told me they would not go north of 70. They would not be seen up in Hamilton. I don't know. They would be seen, but anyway. So I'm hoping that some of our North people will go south. But we're doing that. And then we also have open networking on Friday, March 31st, which may seem like a long way off. I'll tell you that networking, that has been really good. That's the Westfield group is basically sponsoring it. We're at the Haverstick, and that is at 8:30 on once a month. They do that. They meet on Zoom the rest of the month, and then they do this on one morning. And our numbers the last couple of months have been really doing quite well. So and you just never know. And it's not just for Westfield residents. So I hope everybody kind of knows that. I think everybody knows that just because a group says they're the Westfield group does not mean you have to live in Westfield or work in Westfield. That was just from, our origin was we had a group that started in Westfield, and it's got, and that's why this is nice, because this Collaborating Connections really never was connected to the location, really. Anyway, we do have a couple of groups. Anyway, so any of the groups that we have out there that, you'd like to jump on, and if Zoom is your mode, this night might be the perfect thing. And I think it actually works really well for a lot of people that just don't know about us yet. And we're working on that. So for now, April the 5th, is that a Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not looking at a calendar, but I think it's Wednesday, April 5th. I will give you that. We have this author.
It's a Wednesday.
Is it a Wednesday, Robert? Okay, thank you. It is at 6:00 that night. We're not going to conflict with Collaborating Connections that week, but we have the author. Her name is Lisa Wilbur, and the book is called Said the Lady with Blue Hair. Said the Lady with the Blue Hair, which are all like, what the heck? If you go see her, you can go to the website. It's actually www.saidtheladywiththebluehair.com. And she is number 5 in Avon. She's been with Avon for like 40 years. She says it's kind of hard to have been with them this long and not be up at the top. But her book is about 7 different success business tips, and it's wrapped into a story. And it's I listened to it on audio. What is it? Not audio book. No, audio. What is it called? I don't remember what it's called. But anyway, that she's going to be speaking to us about her top lessons. And I will tell you, one of them's just called Success Tip. The other one's called the Wood Heater Success Tip, and the other one's called the Mini Skirt. So I'll leave you to your own deductions. I thought it would actually be funny. Everywhere she's going, people are wearing blue hair. She didn't have blue hair before she wrote the book, but you have to kind of get into the book to understand what the blue hair. But I thought it would be funny if a bunch of us got on the call and we're wearing a blue wig. We can take it off. We don't have to do the whole thing and record it that way. But it's really an interesting thing, and excited. I met her a few weeks ago at the promptings training, and I immediately snatched her up to get her to speak for us. So those are some of the things. Obviously, we've got some other things. We always try to do a TTR Presents. Last week we had Our Lady from the Netherlands do why it really is good to let your gut hang out. And you're all like, what? But it really, you have to go back and reach it or watch it. It was pretty funny. And it really is. It's just, we want to put a spotlight on our members. So right now, I'm still trying to figure out who our TTR Presents is for March. We'll let you know as soon as we get that. But all of our groups would be happy to have you come and meet them. A lot of the groups are going to maybe once a month having a live meeting, or contrary to dead, you know what I mean, in-person meeting. And so keep your eyes. We do have an Eventbrite page that I figured out how that was, and it's on our website. So if you haven't been to the website, www.ttrnetworking.com, and go to the news and events tab on the right side, you'll find it. It's there. I think probably everybody's found it now. But anyway, I hope that I filled in all the holes. We've got quite a bit that I'm excited about, a lot of things. I really, really excited. So thank you for letting me speak.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Does anyone
You're
have any questions for Jennifer Johnson, our illustrious Executive Director of TTR Networking.
Oh, that's scary. And this is being recorded too, right? Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
But CB, there is a. Can I say it really
Uh-huh.
quick? CB, one of our members in the Biz Builders is doing an Easter picture thing with the Easter Bunny, and she was asking about people who do pictures. Now, I don't know, you'd have to, her name is Brandy. I am going to do an email. I told Dawn to remind me if I forgot because I was going to be on for only a short time today. But, you know, obviously you immediately came to my mind. You'd have to figure out, but you never know what, you know, and I don't know the arrangements, but when she said photographer, obviously that was my first thought. So, okay.
Yeah, no, if you'd send out the email, I'll be happy to reach out and introduce myself and say, hey, I can kind of cover what you're looking for. Because
Okay.
I have backgrounds, I have a whole bunch of stuff. I actually have a really nice kind of pink one that would look
Oh,
really
cool.
nice for the Easter stuff. So I can bring the setup and shoot if she needs. So yeah.
So, yep. So what we try to do is just make warm introductions and then you take it from there. Yep.
Will
I know
do.
you will. Good. Okay. Thanks, Don.
Thank you,
Oh,
Jennifer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, everybody, that's what we're about. Introducing ourselves, finding out what everybody does, getting that knowledge and understanding so that we can share with other people who our close professional networking members are and what they can do for you. So, I want to take the opportunity to introduce myself and my business. My name is Dawn Evans Casey. My business is Spa Travel. It's a full service travel agency that I do from home. I've been in the business for over 6 years now. Was traveling ridiculously in corporate America and decided to take the opportunity to learn a little bit more about travel and help my travel clients have enjoyable, relaxing, memorable travel experiences. So this is something that I do outside of my 9 to 5 job. I'm an auditor. My entrepreneurial endeavor started with the spa travel and then just ballooned into a few other interests of mine. Genealogy and family history is one of them. And my husband and I started a nonprofit called Claiming Your Roots, where we meet with multi-generational families and help them understand how they can do their own family history research, collaborate together and put together a keepsake of their family history that they can pass forward to future generations. That's something that we started doing ourselves, just fell in love with the concept and wanted to share with others. Additionally, another love of mine is chocolate. And a fellow TTR networking member, Nicole Williams, started blogging and instructing folks on how they too can blog. And she just encouraged me to follow my passion and turn that into my own personal blog about chocolate, which is called Cheerful Chocolate Spirit. It's available on Facebook. I'm sharing poetry and pictures and recipes and personal experiences of enjoying chocolate. It not ridiculously decadent, not in a way that free from any I don't want people feeling bad like chocolate is some ridiculous indulgent. It provides energy, it can be healthy, and for me, it's just fun. So feel free to follow me on Cheerful Chocolate Spirit. So that's what I'm about. And as I mentioned earlier, I have been leading this professional networking group, Collaborating Connections, under the TTR umbrella for the past more than 5 years. So we love to get together and connect and build relationships and share referrals, warm referrals, because building the relationships is just a core importance to business success. And then turning that into actionable plans to make sure that you stay on top of your business, you're doing great customer service, you're considering innovative ideas for marketing and making your business the best possible in front of the eyes of your clientele. That's what we're about. I'm gonna pause for a moment and ask, are there any questions about any of the stuff that I do, whether that's genealogy, chocolate, or travel, before I just give a little update on some of our members who aren't here tonight? So are there any questions that I can answer at this time? All righty.
I have one.
Yes.
Cruises. I heard cruises are maxing out. They're back to normal prices. Are there still deals on cruises?
There's always deals. But they are becoming harder to find. Yeah, people are becoming a lot more comfortable going on cruises, long-term cruises, anywhere from 7 to 12 days, 15 days. So the pricing is back to pre-pandemic levels, but there's always bargains to be had. What you're likely will when you're looking for a bargain is either you're going to be in a cabin location that may not be as popular, or cruising during those time periods of the year that where you might deal with tropical storms, or less desirable to have that time available to get away. So if you've got something in mind, let me know and I'll check it out for you. Yes,
If I can, Dawn,
yes.
do you do any repositioning cruises?
Repositioning cruises. I have not heard that term before.
It's during kind of the off season, the cruise boats kind of reposition themselves because, like, Alaska can't run in the winter. So they need to get the boats from Alaska down to Hawaii or down to whatever, and it's a one-way trip, and you go from Seattle, and they run it down the coast down to Hawaii or whatever, and usually the rates are a lot lower, and but it's one way, and you don't always have all of the stops and everything, but you're out on the boat, you get the food, you can relax by the pool, you get all that, but it's just trimmed down.
Yeah. I have never heard of it referred to as a repositioning cruise, but
Yeah.
I am familiar with the one-way cruises. So yes, those are within my selections when I go to my my cruise vendor outlet to be able to search on. So if you're interested in a one-way repositioning cruise, as you call them, I can certainly look into that information as well.
Yeah, because it's if you're looking for discounts and you want to cruise, and obviously there's a lot of fun stuff on the ship that you can do. So just a thought out there, because I have a friend, and she cruises like crazy.
Mhm.
And she was the one that actually kind of introduced me to the idea of it. Catherine and I, a couple of years ago, were on a hurricane cruise, for lack of better terms. We went out to sea right after a hurricane, and then we got down to St. Martin, and we had a hurricane chase us all the way back up to Port Canaveral. So the whole time, and I mean, you think those ships can't rock? Oh, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Those ships can move, but it's it's one of those things that's like, that's kind of a fascinating idea. So
Yeah. Sure.
Just mention it.
Any other questions or comments? All righty. Well, I wanted to be sure to give a shout out to our members who are not on the call tonight. Christy Rose Fulmar is one of our Collaborating Connections members, and she is with VisiPay. And you can find out a little bit more about Christy Rose Fulmar's business on our Collaborating Connections Facebook page. As well, we have Robert Dokes, who is a videographer, and that is KDS, KSD. I'm sorry, I've forgotten the specific, yeah. But Robert is on, and he'll be back with us next week. Robert is also featured on our Collaborating Connections Facebook page. And last but not least, we have Stacey Schamberger Smith, and she is a director with Tava Lifestyle Products. And those are products for energy and vitamins and our own personal vitality. So if you are at all interested in improving your health and your lifestyle, reach out to Stacey Schamberger Smith with Tava Lifestyle Products. There we go. Now, I wanted to somewhat reiterate what Jennifer was sharing earlier about the events. And we're so much more than just this weekly networking call. There are so many benefits to TTR networking and Collaborating Connections. So many ways for business individuals to learn, to get to know each other. And I want to encourage everyone to take advantage of those various ways to grow your business and grow yourself. For those who may have perused our Facebook page this week, I put a posting out there about seasons when people change. And I wanted to kind of integrate that into our discussion tonight about February follow-up. So there are 4 seasons when people change. The number one is when they hurt enough and they have to. That's one of the seasons when people change. Now, certainly, we don't want to be the source of the hurt for any of our potential clients and customers. But as business people, we should always be aware of what we see in our potential clients and customers to be able to identify if they are in that season of change where our services, our products will meet that need in their time of change. The number 2 season when people change is when they see enough and they're inspired to change. So when they see enough means that we have to be out there showing and demonstrating and doing actionable things to let people know, as Jennifer mentioned earlier, we want to be top of mind. When they have seen enough and they're inspired to change, we want to be ready to take advantage, to show up to meet the needs when they are inspired. So we have to be out showing and doing, not being reactive and waiting for someone to say, hey, I need you right now, but to always be out there demonstrating that we are ready to help and what it is that we want to do. Number 3 is that when they learn enough that they want to change. And how do they learn enough? What did I mention earlier to CB? We are the subject matter experts in our fields, in our industries. We have to be teaching and demonstrating and speaking up. And sometimes we have to give away a little bit of our knowledge for free for people to understand and learn and know what it is that we can do so that they can learn that, yeah, that's what I want. You've got what I want. Number 4 for the season when people are ready to change is when they receive enough and they are able to change. So you have to pursue your perfect referral. You have to know where that sweet spot is. You have to know when your potential client is in a position where they have received enough and they are ready to take that step forward to commit, to say, yes, this is a go. Let's work together. Let's make this happen. Let me make this purchase. Let you help me improve. So with those 4 seasons of change, I want you all to think about what it is that you need to do as small business owners to be ready to follow up, to engage, to serve, and be ready for your potential client and customers change. I'm going to open the floor. Oh,
Too cute. Adorable.
yeah. Oh. Oh. Does anyone have any comments about the seasons of change and how that relates to our ability and readiness for follow-up?
No, you always give us so much stuff to think about, Dawn. And I was listening, even though I was cutie patooting it with my granddaughter, but no, I wouldn't even think of all those things. But that is, that's a lot. Yeah, no, boy, nope, no thought, no comments, just taking it in. That's pretty cool.
Well,
That's Scarlett, actually. So that's our newest granddaughter. But go ahead.
I was going to say, in previous weeks, we've talked about individuals and their lack of follow-up for whatever reason, the percentages of people who just don't do it, or who may make limited efforts and don't make it a consistent, consecutive, planned program of follow-up. So here it is from the other side, from the consumer side, and what it takes for them to change. And when you think of those 4 seasons of how they change, it makes us as business owners and managers apt to be more mindful of how we do need a process. And it can't be just a one-time follow-up, a one-time effort. It really takes us being positioned and ready to address when potential clients and customers may be ready for change. We don't exactly know when that is all the time. So you just have to be ready. You just have to be ready, and you have to have a good process in place where you know you're going to be able to follow up again. You know, if at first you don't succeed, the no doesn't mean no forever. It means no right now.
So yeah, and I guess Dawn, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna ask, I think we talked about it last week, was the CRM, and does everybody have a CRM that's set up? And I think CB talked about the 17 hats, right? So that is that I mean, everybody should have, right, some kind of a CRM. The reason being, when you just said that, some kind of something that is going out to your people, because I think, like, Dawn, I think maybe you and Nancy and I are the only ones who were on when my son and daughter-in-law started their solar panel. I want them to come back.
I'd love for them to come back.
Well, the thing that would be really good, I think, is that I'm his mother, you know. So they started a solar panel cleaning business. Okay. So Nancy and Dawn and I think are the only two. CB, I know, definitely, obviously Stacey wasn't on, but Robert might have been on, but they started this last summer. A lot of money, a lot of time. They have got a great business. They're in Colorado, though. I mean, but but I can only tell them so much as far as you need to follow up. They have made friends with everybody in the town. They're in all these chambers. And I'm, of course I'm I'm going to say, get your send out cards going. Well, they've done that in the past. They haven't done it religiously now, but they don't get that idea of what Dawn was just saying, which I don't even know that I've ever had anybody lay it out like that. But the fact is, and I'm sure, Stacey, Nancy, CB, we're all in that boat where you don't know. Our timing is so different from what our clients' potential timing could be, right? So you need to always, you don't, like you said, I mean, you've got to be in front of them, even when you're not in front of them. You've got to be keeping something on a regular basis out there. My solar panel or cleaning thing is, I would love to have them come and tell you guys all that they've done, all that they're, still doing every day. And you guys fill in. You don't have to tell them the send out cards. If you want to, that's great. They know it's there. But the idea is your wisdom of experience. I mean, you're all, seasoned people, business people here. I think, people when they're younger, they don't get the idea. They haven't been doing this long enough to really understand that people have those seasons. And until Dawn just laid that out, it's like, man, that's so true. I mean, how many of us you can think of all these people that you've thrown, you keep telling them. My son is a good one to say that. I know it's going to hit him somewhere along the way, is that somebody's going to say, oh, I got this box of brownies from my whatever. And I'm going to do business with him. He's going to say, oh, mom's been telling me about this for 2 years. I should, you know what I mean? But you never know when it's going to hit them. And so that's a whole different thing. But how often is often enough? Does it depend on your sales cycle? Maybe Dawn, you've addressed this in the last few weeks. I might have missed that, but I mean, Nancy, not everybody's going to need insurance all the time, right? But CB, how often do people get pictures? Do you offer packages of pictures? You know what I mean? If somebody did my daughter and her husband have done, with our granddaughter, they had what is it, Elizabeth? You had the when you were pregnant, and now you've had pictures like Valentine's and different things. They had like a package of all these different things. So their timing could be a lot different than somebody buying insurance or buying from Stacey with, bank. I mean, but do you have something that you've figured out for your own industry, or Dawn, maybe you?
I think it does vary by industry, by product or service. Someone's not going to take a trip. Well, I might every month, but
Yeah.
the average person doesn't take a trip as often. They might plan a big family trip once a year, or maybe if they're a business traveler, they might go a little bit more often. So it takes you looking at your clientele, your target customer, and figuring and at least making some initial assumptions about how they utilize the product or service that you offer, and how you could best position yourself to be front of mind for them. Like I said, it's going to depend on different attributes as far as how frequent that timing is. But recall, we also had a discussion that every touch, every follow-up doesn't have to be to sell your product or service. Sometimes that touch is just to say, hey, I'm still here. I'm interested in what's going on with you. How are you? Is there anything I can help with? Sometimes you're just listening to be able to connect them with something else that they need.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're literally just listening so that they can have a chance to speak, to vent, to be heard, to feel that human connection, that relationship building. So you build those types of touches into your follow-up process. And those types of touches, even the non-sales touches, are part of you staying front of mind to that individual.
With them, their product is really themselves. And so them making sure that they have good images of themselves standing there holding their equipment, standing in front of solar panels, whatever it may be, but clean solar panels aren't always a tangible. You don't hold a clean solar panel in your hand like you do an item. So
Yeah.
they really hopefully have images done of them that are about them and how they connect and how they do things. And that's in terms of the photography side, yeah, everyone offers a package of some sort. That's not even a question. But have something that they can do but make it personal for them. That's going to be the big thing for them.
Yeah. I think we talked about also with them the education piece. Well, why does someone want to clean their solar panel? But there's energy savings. There's energy savings for people to take advantage of. So especially in these more challenging economic times, that's something that they want to be talking about and reinforcing and reminding their customers about, that, hey, this activity that's not front of mind to you because it's sitting up on top of your roof, if you do that, you'll be noticing it in perhaps your energy bill. And that's a little bit more tangible. That's something to celebrate. That's something
And
that gets
financial pain
attention. Yes.
is always a big motivator for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, I will say for them, they have actually had a lot of really good opportunities to educate. And I'll let them tell it. But I was telling Adam today, I said, you and Anna should pop on the Tuesday night call because you guys need to update everybody on what you've been doing. And I think it would be just a really good exercise for them, but it'd be good for us as a networking group to say, how can we help these young people? It wouldn't hurt me being his mom, but also just maybe you guys could give him some connections that you would suggest, and maybe they haven't thought of it. And then a lot of us that are on these calls on Tuesday nights, are able to work not just here locally either. So they also would be able to help us. But when they were on before, that was, I think that was probably 6 months ago at least. They were overwhelmed. They had a lot of things. It's been really good. I will say they've had a lot of really good, they did a radio spot, a couple of radio spots. And they did a magazine of it was a couple layout. It sounds funny, but my husbands and wives working together. This was in Greeley where they live in Colorado. So they've had a lot of really good things that have been out there that have happened. I would think the biggest thing that we could all bring to the table, and I promise I'll try to refrain. I'll let you guys talk because I am his mother. I talk to him all the time, but you guys have the wisdom and the experience of, a few years under your belt, most of us. I just want to say that I think they could benefit from that. And, Dawn, we'll figure it out sometime but that even might be good because we're going into March with masterminding. I feel like we've got a lot of stuff we can talk about with masterminding. I've been sharing with the leaders some of the 12-week year and all of that I believe is going to be some real great talking topics, but I'll leave that with you. But if you wouldn't mind, Dawn, we could talk about that, see if we can get them lined up, and hopefully they'd even invite some of their friends that maybe can do some things over. They typically right now they're still working their day jobs, trying to get this thing going to the point where they don't have to do the other jobs. And I think that's where, we can all sympathize with them, that, it's part of the routine. We all have to go through it. But anyway, Dawn, hopefully I didn't throw too much at you right there, but I thought that would fit.
Great stuff. Great stuff. And I really think it's awesome. I love inviting folks back who haven't been with us in a while to let us know what's going on in their business. Sometimes, we can see that growth and change and celebrate with them. Sometimes we can offer them some additional recommendations or ideas. That's all part of that relationship building and education that we talk about. That's really important to TTR networking. And as we go into the month of March and we're going to be masterminding, it also contributes to that. We are getting better and better all the time at manifesting for ourselves. And then we get to kind of share that idea with others and how they can manifest, how it moves from just doing the day-to-day actions to believing and watching the reality come to fruition. So super awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Stacey, are you still there? She may not. She may be muted. Well, I just, let's see, it's 7:25. To wrap up this evening, I just want to say thank you all for being with us. This has been a complete pleasure, as always, to talk and share with each and every one of you about your businesses. I hope that this month's discussion about follow-up has been a benefit, that you've been able to find some golden nuggets to carry forward and to act on to help improve your business. Stacey, I was going to ask for your first visit to Collaborating Connections. Did you enjoy it? Was this beneficial for you?
I did enjoy it. I made some really good connections. I got some really good, insightful information, learned some things that I definitely wouldn't have known before. So thank you for the invitation. And I got to see a real cute baby as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we'd love to have you back with us.
Say hi. She's not a regular though, Stacey, sorry. I just like to show her off once in a while. She's been pretty happy tonight too. So, while we're here, her mommy and daddy are eating dinner while we're watching her, and she's kind of looking at all of you, trying to figure out what the heck you're doing. Crazy people.
She's our exclusive baby.
She's our mascot baby. Yes.
Mascot. We only have one baby.
Yeah. But good to see everybody. Thank you. And yes, like we said, I don't know if I can just real quick, the 12-week year, I don't know who all, I know we've talked about it a few times. Has anybody read it? Anybody talked about it with any groups? CB, you ever read the 12-week year? Stacey? Nancy, I think we talked about it a little bit, but I'll tell you, the more I read, if you go to the 12-week, now you go to www.12, the number 12, weekyear.com. It tells more about it, but there's a couple workshops. And all I can tell you is instead of a 12-week, or no, I'm sorry, 12 months, you're talking about 12 weeks is your year. And it's just, if you think about it, for me, when I have less time to get things done, I get more done. It's like when you have less time, you use your time more wisely. And I wish I could take some credit for this whole 12-week year thing, but some of our members of our North Side group have finished the book and are using some of the tactics, some of the strategies. And all I want to tell people is let's take some of the main topics. It's a time management execution program, basically. And it's some basic things. And you don't have to adapt everything or adopt everything to your schedule, or you don't even have to read the book. We're going to talk about some of the stuff. I just want to put it out there because I think there's so much positive that's been out there about it that and I'm already doing a couple things where I'm like, I'm getting more done in about half the time. Now, does that mean I still have a lot to get done, but I'm getting more done, and it's all figuring out what is priority, what isn't, what is your money makers or, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, it's a great book. There's a workshop, a couple things. There's a book you can get, obviously a field guide, a workbook, and there's certifications you can get and everything, but there's just so much. And I think masterminding is a great month for us to kind of dig into some of the topics in the book. And then accountability, they have a totally different take on accountability. And we go into April with accountability. So thought it would be good timing. Dawn, I hope that's okay if I jumped into that.
Good stuff. I'm gonna go and check out the site and read ahead, because I certainly want to be prepared for some of these concepts that we'll share. Definitely time management execution is a good thing for all of us, and especially for me who loves doing so many different things. I need that.
Oh, I do. I definitely do. Well, I don't want to keep everybody, but thank you. So good to see everyone.
Thank you. Everybody, go forward. Have a wonderfully productive rest of the week. Please schedule those one-on-one discussions. I'm going to go ahead and get the recording of this meeting posted to YouTube and to our Collaborating Connections Facebook page, and also share the contact information with everybody via email tonight. I'm going to get it done tonight. So look forward to that. Go ahead and reach out, schedule those one-on-ones, and have a wonderful rest of the week, everyone. See you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.